Why can't I? Why can't I just click on the portraits? Thank you. That was annoying. Alright. That's my boy. Unban my boy. He can't come into my stream, dude, and fucking put giant peckers up there on the screen. That sets a pretty bad precedent, doesn't it? Spamming my chat
Drop the keys.
with shit that's inappropriate. Okay, I think I found your game. So, right away, I disagree completely. You need to learn how to win lanes. Don't buy into this hype, okay? This fucking klepto hype. All right, let me explain klepto to you real quick. Klepto is designed for lanes that you can reliably land Qs on, and you won't get penalized for having such a weak lane phase. And so, in doing so, you're basically saying, I am waiting until minute 12 to get Triforce, basically. If the lane is just kind of AFK. Here's the problem with that. If you're going into bronze, silver, gold, low elos, basically, like real low elos. RRK, thank you. Relic Shield Fiora is good. Yeah, it's fine in verse tanks. It's very similar to this, actually. But anyways, so the problem with that is if you're playing in real low elos, it's a really dumb decision, in my opinion, to play for a slow scaling style with a champion who, by definition, is like skill based. So, for example, let's say you play Nasus and farm up and get big and get your items. Yay. And I say yay because you're going to be able to fuck up mechanically, and you're still going to absorb a lot of damage and do a lot of damage and be able to pressure towers. The problem with Gangplank, and I've been harping and preaching on this for a while now, is that you essentially give up... if you play this way with Klepto, you basically give up lane phase so that you can be this mid to late game monster, which is all well and good, except everybody else in the room in bronze is probably going to get fed. Not everybody, but there's a chance that, there's more than a 50% chance that somebody else in a different lane, in a different role, is going to feed. Like, that's just how League works. Somebody in low elo is going to feed. The games that you have everyone not feed and get in or ahead or whatever, that's really good luck. Someone is going to feed. Like, it's pretty much a guarantee. Think about it. There's 5 different roles, and somebody on your team is going to play worse, a lot worse than somebody on the other team. Also, snowball meta, you know, if someone fucks up, they're gonna get their pee-pee slapped pretty much all game. So you're gonna have to account for that. This is why I harp big on getting away from these passive opens. Everything about this open is passive to me. The Klepto into Gnar, every time you Q Gnar, he's going to trade back at you if he has a brain, and you're never going to win the trade. Now, if you play like an Airy or a Comet or Spellbook with Ignite or any of that shit, go for Corrupting Pod or even start Dorn's Blade if you've got Mana Flow Ban. Shit like that is what I'm looking to do with GP when I play Gangplank and low elo. So you need to stop taking these like defensive passive lines and go into your lane with a play style that isn't so scale heavy and is more just on dominating your lane, no matter who it is. Fuck fleet footwork, no. Doesn't do enough damage.
Minions have spawned.
So, right away, I'm already feeling like you fucked this up. So, Gnar throws his boomerang, misses it, right? You hit your passive. And, I'm gonna focus a lot on the lane for this because you're low elo and that's all that really matters right now for you, okay? So don't take it personally. Boomerang misses. Whoop. Misses, right? You have your passive up. You auto this creep. Run at him. Throw a Q. Use the move speed from the passive. Run forward and Q. You should be doing this all the time. Quick Q, run away. Every time your passive's up. This isn't in every lane, but it's in most. You can use your passive to quickly Q somebody and run away before they can retaliate. So you should be doing that. It should always be every time your passive's up. Smack that shit, run for it, especially if he uses a cooldown in front of you. You tank so much free damage there. And I don't know why. So you go to Q him. Look at how you stand in these minions and tank all this minion damage. And the Gnar damage. Take the Q. Run out. Also, this is part of the reason I hate Klepto start. You have no resistances and you don't have damage to threaten in trades. You can even do grasp. You can even do a grasp gangplank start. Anything more aggro, please God. When you have two barrels, you should be trying to kill him here. So I think you have them up now. There should be barrel, chain to barrel. And you should be trying to find an all-in spot right here. Just go kill him. What the fuck? When I hit that, if I hit that barrel, I go just like this. Straight line. You know why? Because top lane curves. See how top lane curves? Path straight line at Gnar. And follow it up for the kill. This is a kill. He's dead here. Even with your shitty Klepto start. He's dead. Watch what you do. You turn back away. You also could have pathed a little bit more direct down. But the idea is you hit that barrel and you have your passive. If you flash auto and then he doesn't flash right away, you get another auto off Q, you get the kill. That's the type of pressure I want. I want kills in lane, in bronze. I want kills. Bronze, silver, gold. I want to kill motherfuckers. That's all you need to learn in this game. Is how to play your champ mechanically. And get kills in lane. That's all you need to focus on right now. At your level. Not this like, I'm gonna scale up shit. You need to be learning how to outplay people reliably. Because every person you face is pretty much easy money for you. The barrel should be more forward, and you should be looking to poke. Why are we putting the barrel back here when we have lane control? And we have the HP lead. The barrel should be up here. And you should be ready to combo it to the Gnar. Like you did here at the brush, up here. This is good. Okay, mechanically you screwed the pooch there. Yeah, reset is right. Now, this is a fun little Blue's Clues moment for everybody here. So we took Klepto. How many times have we procced Klepto in this lane? How many times have we procced Klepto in this lane? What, like 3? 3 times? It seems kind of dumb, right? Now that we've watched this. And this is why I don't like it. This is why I don't like it versus Gnar. I fucking hate Klepto after the nerf. You were pretty much justified in taking it every single matchup before the nerf. Now I don't think so. I think you're more justified in taking it in very specific matchups only. I mean, me personally, I didn't even take it into every matchup before it was. I took it into like... I took Klepto only into tanks, and then I took like Comet or Airy into lanes like this. Klepto nerf wasn't that bad, but I still think it's much weaker than it was. Because GP's like a champion like Gangplank, you need to understand where I'm coming from. I don't like how Gangplank plays after a certain point in the game. I feel like Gangplank's progression goes like this. In lane, he's surprisingly dominant, but weak to jungle ganks. Really weak to jungle ganks early, but his lane phase is incredibly strong. Very similar to Pantheon. Mid-game, he's got one of the best mid-game spikes with Triforce, period, and then that stays consistent through to like level 13. As the game goes on and on and on, he has a very stable, high damage late game that only really works if he has some sort of front line. So a Galio mid, an Alistar support, a Nunu jungle, shit like that makes GP's late game work at all, right? If you don't got the front line, you're fucking inting if everyone on your team is squishy and you're playing Gangplank. You literally do nothing in that scenario. And furthermore, as Gangplank, no matter how fed you are, it can be very difficult to push if your teammates have no power. Like they can't push off of their towers. GP can't push off his towers without his teammates helping him. Whereas like opposed to a Fiora or a Jax or a Tryndamere who can pretty much always go, hee hee, I'm here, and no one can really stop them. GP is pretty easy to kill. So that's kind of why I've never really liked Gangplank in solo queue that much lately, is because I just feel like there's so many champs like Alawi or some shit that if you take Klepto on like an Alawi and farm up, you're actually getting a pretty good value out of it. Whereas with GP it's like meh. Like, the only thing that you have going for you ultra late, I think, is the ults. The ults and the damage, but no CC really blows ass. And not being able to push really blows ass. Oh, he dead. If he didn't tank those towers, he got you. He got you, but he decided he liked tower shots. He had you beat. So you back. I think the back was correct. He was probably going to TP a lot, and you figured that. Looks like you ult. What was the ult for? Ah, you didn't get the assist, but it was a good try. I see why you did it. As for your actual laning against Gnar, so far I'm not really impressed, and the main reason is because I don't see you trying, like, I see you playing passive and just kind of farming up, which, you know, maybe you can say, oh, well, Neace, that was my goal this game, and that's fine, but It's not gonna be how I want you to play Gangplank long term. What I want to see is what I saw earlier, where you hit the barrel on the Gnar in the brush. You should be putting barrels forward, consistently trying to poke at Gnar whenever you can. Normally with Gnars, in this matchup in general, the way I view it is, if he's in this form, if you're allowed to place barrels, it's pretty free damage. If he's in range form, you normally go for melee barrels first, because it's more reliable than going for Q barrels. Because the Q barrels with Gnar's range form, he always breaks your barrels if he has a brain at all. Talk about the execution of this. So when you do this, I was happy to see you challenging here. Oh, what is your build? No, fuck this. This build is garbage. Nope. Here you need Phage. I hate this serrated Dirk thing so much. You go Tabbies, which already delays Triforce, which is fine, but then you go for serrated Dirk. No, that's garbage. You need to be building towards Triforce here. Period, point blank, end of discussion. This is garbage. As for the execution of this, you are mashing your buttons really hard. Just make sure to apply the passive burn and then get the move speed up. And then from here, always be trying to step. When you auto him, always try to step up or away briefly. I would probably just step up here and try to avoid his ult. Because this, you basically just view the circle. If you can auto him and micro out, you'll see me do a lot of these little micro adjustments when I apply passive. It just takes practice. You'll get better at it over time. Where you rush yo moves before Triforce. Oh boy. Yeah, if you're using Phylol for any serious League of Legends discussion, you are, yeah, you're unlucky.
Red team double kill.
Okay, your positioning here is Crapzilla. Crapzilla. It's a new boss. You need to have a barrel down. If you don't have a barrel down to defend yourself in this matchup, it is like you can't be pushed up here. Because the barrel is what everything about your lane phase is hinged on your barrels. Zoning with your barrels, barrel control, all that stuff. If you put a barrel here, Gnar does not feel good about aggressing you. Only the best of players will actually try to aggress you over barrels, because they'll try to challenge your barrel and all in you.
Red team double kill.
Wasn't that a boss in Conquer's Bad Fur Day? I don't know. But because you don't have your barrel down, that's why you get chunked out of lane. You need to make sure you protect yourself at all times. You can't just stand there with no barrels down versus a champion like Gnar who can gap close and slow you and all that shit. This matchup, by the way, I know I'm speaking as if it's super easy. It's not. All right, so I don't want you to be too sad about my advice here. It's not easy to play GP into range matchups. It requires a lot of finesse, a lot of understanding, like if you do X, you get Y as a result. A lot of wiggling, a lot of little micro movements. But I want you to understand that I don't want you viewing any of these matchups like they're unbeatable or anything. Oh boy, yeah, see what I'm saying? And this dive only exists because of this play back here. So that's why you've got to make sure that you can't take those free trades like that where you just don't have your barrel, you're just standing there for no reason. Let me back up a little bit. So, here in this spot, I want you to see... I'm trying to cover all sorts of little minutia for you to think about. What is more important in a situation when you're about to get dove? You have two options, right? You can try to, what you did here, which honestly, I don't know what you're doing. This is like textbooks bronze shit that you did here. You tried to damage Gnar, it looks like. You do less damage to minions from a melee barrel like this. So when you combo your barrels like this, you're doing so much less damage to these creeps than if you had just waited under tower and queued the barrel. The way that you're supposed to play a scenario like this is Gangplank, is basically you should be standing like here, and your barrel should be like here. And what you're doing is you're gonna wait until the minions build up and try to hit as many as possible while protecting yourself from a dive and discouraging a dive. But watch how you play this instead. You hit this, you literally melee the barrel, which does no damage to minions. You're also tanking all the minions, which makes this dive super easy. Your turret should be the one tanking minions. You should be standing here, right? Anything in front of this tower is a fucking no-go. Like, you cannot be here. This is bad. You should be, like, here. So he gets to just fucking train wreck you under tower because you have nothing to protect yourself. You have no barrels. You should, like I said, there should be a barrel here, and you should be here with another barrel right here under the tower. Yeah, he's trying to combo the barrel, but it's trash because even if he combos it, he does no damage to minions, and he's exposed to the minion damage because he can't clear it. Nidalee comes and gives you a nice little bailout. That doesn't happen every day in low elo. The Nidalee bailout. Yeah, you getting shit on. Honestly, this dude plays it really well. Like, even though it's low elo. Like, he literally did. Like, this is so shitty for you. So he hops your barrel, which is just whatever, right? It's just kind of nonsense. Always duck into the brush in situations like these. And then you try to hit the barrel, you get outplayed there. And yeah. So, fun fact, if you had Phage instead of this Dirk shit, you would have lived. I mean, like I said, the guy just played it really well, though, ultimately. You got kind of put to the test there. You had to hit your barrel. You basically had to hit this barrel in order to live, and you missed it. So he just continues to dive. It's Gnar. Gnar's kind of bullshit in general, and the position that you're in is garbage. And this is why I say, do not take Klepto so you can kill this motherfucker pre-6 and not get raped. You know what I mean?
Red team double kill.
So yeah, your build's all over the place now. You're doing some wishy-washy nonsense. Seriously, dude. Low elo. The only other thing you should be building other than Ninja Tabbies to delay your Triforce is a Doran's Blade. Your barrel should be hitting all the creeps, not just the front line. And now we're feeding, boys. Now we feeding, boys! Oh boy, we're in for a fucking treat today. Is my GP guy in the chat? Because this is hard to watch. Is my GP hero in the chat? Oh boy, we so screwed. You are? Is that you? Are you the GP? Noob? Yeah, this lane is over, and this is unacceptable. The other shit doesn't really mean anything to me, dude, no offense. What I'm more concerned about is how you approach this lane phase. You built every goofy item under the sun. I don't know where you're getting this from, but your itemization... And honestly, I agree with the grasp call, so here's what I'm gonna do. Build you out some runes real quick before I shut this down. Ugh, God, I hate when this happens. Look, bro. Whenever you go into solo queue as GP and you're in bronze to gold, if you've never seen my Gangplank replays, in Korea or otherwise, the reality is Gangplank's actually a really good low elo stomper. Like stomper. You can stomp low elo, not just like farm up and like wave clear, like you can just stomp. Here's what I would recommend. You have two options right now. I would stay away from Spellbook and Klepto in general, as a rule of thumb. I would stay away from that. The only time that you will ever be able to argue for Klepto for me is if you get a matchup like a Shen or something where you're going to get so much gold that you can justify it. Okay? That's the main thing. So stay away from Klepto, stay away from Spellbook, stay away from this tree. What you really want to be doing is you're going to choose either Resolve or you're going to choose Sorcery. Resolve or Sorcery for primary. In matchups that poke you and annoy you to death, Grasp. You go Grasp and you play to win. Your build was pretty garbage, and we'll get to that in a second. But Grasp against Gnar would have been really good. So versus Gnar, you would have looked to do something like this. And then for... If it were me, I would have went Mana Flow and Scorch. This beats the noobs. This will make your trading a lot smoother. This will make your tankiness a lot higher. You'll be able to take your Doran's Blade if you want. You can go Corrupting Pot if you want. Whichever you feel. Me personally, I like Corrupting Pot quite a bit. Well, honestly, if I was at your level, I would probably just take Doran's Blade with Ignite and try to kill, but Corrupting Pot and Teleport's fine too here. So, something like that, okay? Now, let's say you're playing a lane that, like Fiora or something. You're playing against a Fiora top, or a Jax top, or a Nasus who wants to Q farm, right? Who wants to stack? This is something that you can do. I wasn't really sure what was stronger. I played a lot of Comet and had pretty good success with it. Some people would say that Aery's stronger, but either way, you could go Aery or Comet, and I'm not quite clear on which one's the best. Mana Flow Band, Absolute Focus, Scorch, and then you can go probably if it's me, I like going on the resolve tree a lot, but it depends on what you want to accomplish. If you want a little bit more safety from the counter, like the lane playing back at you, then yeah, I'd probably just go resolve. So you would go armor or magic resist depending, and then second wind. This would be the two that I would look at for GP. If you're going to play Gangplank, you are playing to win lane in low elo. Unless, like I said, it's like a Shen or maybe a Malphite or something you absolutely know that you're going to have a terrible time killing, or a Tahm Kench top, then you can go for your Klepto shit. These two pages are how I would stomp low elo. Okay? You basically try to kill your lane. You don't just autopilot push, though. I mean, use your brain. If you're facing like a Lee Sin or something, or somebody who ganks early, like a Kha'Zix sometimes, just make sure you have a ward down. Make sure you're using your brain. Pay attention to where your jungler is, but play aggro. You're in low elo, you need to learn how to get to these lanes. You can't just go Klepto and AFK farm. It's a bad proposition, especially in the snowball meta, alright? I hope this helps. I take my Gangplank very seriously, so this is why I get the crazy win rates when I smurf with Gangplank. That's how I play it. Okay? I hope it helps you. YouTube, what up? It's Neace, No Bullshit Gamer. Love you. Thanks for watching the coaching. I'll see you for the next one. And I'm out. Peace. Cracks. Thank you. Oh, wait. Wait. One more thing. One more thought that I had. I ended early. You're playing You're playing Gangplank, right? So stop with this serrated Dirk shit. Your open should have been Corrupting Pot. Tabbies was fine. Or, well, you can go Sheen first. Tabbies. You can opt to throw a Doran's Blade in there, you know what I mean, if you want at some point. Just to make sure that you're not getting all in, you're not getting cheesed. Maybe you're facing like a Lee Sin jungle and you want to make sure to survive some bullshit that comes down your way. And then from there, dude, it's fucking every game. Triforce, Ghostblade, Sterix. And Sterix can come before the Ghostblade if you're facing heavy bursts like Aurelia. That's it. And then from there, you can just build out, you know, depending on what your team needs. You need some armor penetration, build the armor penetration. You need to survive, you go GA. This is the core, though. This is what you're most worried about, is making, again, League is all about the early game. This is the most important shit right now. All right, now I'll end it. All right, love ya. I'll see you next time, and I'm out. Peace. Cracks, thank you. Cool. Cool. Out that motherfucker. No crit. No, fuck that. Well, you can get Phantom Dancer or whatever if you want, but that's not as